CBD is an acronym. CBD stands for cannabidiol or cannabidiol, depending on how you want to pronounce it, tomato, tomato. And it's a naturally occurring cannabinoid that's found in many plant species, including cannabis, which a lot of people know about because cannabis is now a big business. People are familiar with cannabis, right? But it's also found in hemp at a larger dosage. There's more CBD in hemp than there is in cannabis. So it's the same molecule found in both plants, but the potency or the amount of this molecule changes dramatically from the male plant to the female plant. It's also found in hops. There's also trace amounts of cannabinoids found in other plant species such as caryophyllene, in peppers, echinacea, flaxseed. So it's a naturally occurring plant molecule that helps to balance the body. It's a really big concern right now because in America, when something starts to proliferate and take off, we get the greed factor. So right now in America, we have people selling CBD all over the place. People are making it in their home, in their garage, selling it at farmers markets, selling it online. And I don't think that it's wise to be purchasing from anything other than a ISO certified laboratory. Because right here in this room, right now, there's dust particles all around us. We're breathing them. And you don't see them, but they're there. And you certainly don't want that material, the dust particles from insulation in the ceiling, right? From a person that just walked in the door coming off their body, or from the car driving by. We don't want that material in our medicine. So ISO certified laboratories is the only place where we will source our material. And I happened to spend quite a bit of time when I first got into this industry locating and vetting the proper laboratories so that we know that this product that we're selling to people is pure, and it's basically potency is what it says on the label. Right now, there's so many products proliferating throughout the internet. We've tested over 150 different products. All but one tested at what it said was on the label. There are no label standards. You don't know what's in it. You don't know what it's suspended in. You don't know where it came from. So we will only source U.S. industrial certified hemp, organic hemp, through the U.S. Hemp Farm Bill. So the labs that we vetted follow all of the chains of custody that are now in place, following all the laws. Even though it's not technically regulated, we want to make sure that we're getting the quality material and we know what we're administering to people. So if you are buying a bottle of 300 milligrams of CBD, you want to get 300 milligrams of CBD. You don't want to get 110. Consumers really need to be careful, especially on the internet. So my personal opinion, having been a business person for many, many years and knowing how to vet businesses or companies or individuals. Number one, if you shop online, which it's a little sketchy to begin with, you want to make sure that there's a company name. You want to make sure that there's a phone number that you can call the company to talk to a human being. If you call a company, there's a phone number on the website and there's a person at the company answering the phone, and ask them to send you an email. Make sure that the email matches the company name, which matches the phone number, which matches the email. That tells you pretty clearly that that's a reputable company. If you don't have those four things in place, you're taking chances because a lot of people are selling it from overseas here in the US, and it's very dangerous. So you need to really vet where you're buying it from, and you really should be seeing a certificate of analysis to let you be aware of what's actually in the product. And the certificate of analysis shouldn't be just a piece of paper. It should be from a laboratory with a number so that you can actually call the lab and find out, was this product tested as the company that's selling it to me says it was? And that's what we do here. We make sure that the chain of custody is clear and transparent. We sell all forms of CBD as well as other phytonutrients. We don't just sell CBD here, although we are known to be the CBD source here in Phoenix. We sell hemp protein. We sell reishi mushroom powder, which is aptogenic molecule that really helps detoxify the body and brain. We sell a lot of different plant materials such as moringa capsules, unbelievably packed with vitamins and minerals. More iron is in moringa capsules than in spinach. So packed with vitamins and minerals, because ultimately we've noticed over the years of selling CBD that the better you eat, the better it works in the body. So we're trying to educate people. Our number one goal here at the store is to educate people to take responsibility for themselves and be able to start eating more healthy and understand different toxins in food, preservatives and sulfates and stabilizers and emulsifiers and hormones, right, and preservatives. All these things get in our body and start to disrupt the way the body naturally works. Our body's divinely inspired to heal. The immune system is always working. And when you interrupt that with materials that don't belong in the body, you're going to get symptoms. And that's typically what happens with a lot of people. They start to not function properly because of not eating right. Stress is another killer. A lot of people are very stressed out nowadays. A lot of contributors to stress, right? Lifestyle, EMF stress. No one's talking about the electromagnetic frequencies from cell phones affecting the brain and the way that the brain functions. So when we put cannabinoids in the body, it's going to regulate and balance just about every function of the human body, including in the body, right, the peripheral and the central nervous system. It's remarkable. I can only speak to what I've seen. So when I talk about what I've seen, it's empirical data. So for example, we'll have someone come in the store and say, my doctor told me to come in today and get 60 milligrams of CBD every day so that I can get rid of my irritable bowel syndrome. And we will say, that's nice for your physician to send you to us, but we're never going to start anyone at 60 milligrams of CBD a day. We start people between 5 and 10, because when you put it in the body, it's going to have an effect on the way the body functions. We don't want to put too much CBD in the body too quickly, because it can have, we don't cause it a side effect, all right? It's not really referred to as a side effect. It's going to be a modulatory effect. For example, for some people, too much CBD too fast will flush out the gut, because it does have an effect on digestion. So if you take too much too fast, you might get loose stools. Now, if you're on a prescription medication and you're constipated, that's going to be a welcome change, right? You're going to be regular now. But for that reason primarily, and I used to be a consumer advocate. I've written many books. I'm always watching out for the customer's wallet, which means if you only need 10 milligrams a day, why would you take 50 or 60, right? It's fairly expensive, and we don't want people taking more than they actually need. So what we see is people will take the product in some method, some fashion to get it into the body, whether we inhale it direct to the neurological field, very quick to the brain, or we ingest it and it gets into the body, and we typically recommend a dosage of about 5 to 10 milligrams a day for 3 to 5 days. Let the body get used to that dose. If we don't see any benefit, we increase the dose, we double it from 5 to 10 or from 10 to 20 for 3 more days. We call it a titration protocol. Works very effectively. We've been doing it now for over 3 years. And slowly, as the person increases their dose, eventually, once that person gets the right dose into their body, everything changes. They become balanced. If they're hyperactive in the brain, ADHD or ADD, all these terminologies we use for people that are a little bit stressed out, it'll get in the brain and it'll calm them down by making changes to neurotransmitters. If somebody's depressed, now they're very low functioning. Maybe their glutamate receptor is not firing. Maybe it's not too much glutamate in the brain. Maybe it's the receptor isn't even reading the glutamate because of a toxin in the brain. So we put CBD in that person, and it brings up anandamide and lowers cortisol, and now they feel really good. Instead of being depressed, now they feel better. So we've helped thousands of people get off a variety of prescription medications, thus getting rid of the side effects that typically come along with prescription medications. So the dose is unique to every person's metabolism. Has nothing to do with the height or the weight or the age of the individual. And we've seen it thousands and thousands of times. Absolutely. Yeah, we have a whole host of individuals that are committed to coming to the store, and every time they come in, they learn something new, and we've seen the miraculous. I mean, we can never say we're treating anyone because we're not medical individuals, but what we've seen happen in people's bodies has been absolutely miraculous. I'm afraid on film to talk about seeing cancer disappear, but we've seen it. I've seen tumors disappear in 6 to 8 weeks. We've seen people's ulcerative colitis disappear in 6 to 8 weeks. I've seen melanoma on a gentleman that came in about 6 months ago. Had melanoma on his nose and on different parts of his forehead from golfing in the sun so much. We put the CBD right on it and take it internally so it works systemically from within. And within 6 weeks, his melanoma was gone. So we've seen amazing things. And the reason is, a lot of people don't understand that it's really a natural product. The body makes cannabinoids. When a woman becomes pregnant and the breast milk comes into the breast milk is filled with cannabinoids. This is a 100% natural product, which is why we're really concerned about the FDA taking over and synthesizing it, which they've already done with one product. Okay, it's called Epidiolex. And if you go on the website of this product, which is synthesized from cannabinoids, and it's specifically made for seizures, there's a bunch of side effects associated with it. We have not seen any side effects. For some people that are on multiple pharmaceutical medications, they might see something happen to their body when they get on CBD, because the CBD is changing how their body functions, and that might have a reaction with the prescription medication. And so they make the mistake of thinking that it's the CBD causing it. It's not. It's the prescription medication that's causing it, and the CBD could be either blocking it or accentuating it. Again, everyone's body is a fingerprint. Everyone's body is 100% unique. So we try to deal with each person that walks in the store individually to ask them a series of questions. All my employees are trained to ask a series of questions to every customer. What brings you in today? What's the condition? Is it chronic? Is it situational? How long have you had it? Has it been formally diagnosed? Tell me about this. And then we'll talk about removing cheese from the diet, which is incredibly inflammatory to the body, increases acid for things like gout that occur. Right? So there's lots of conditions in the body. People talk about fibromyalgia. Doctors don't know what it is or what causes it. It's pretty simple, actually. It's a buildup of acid in the body, which allows the nerve endings to become more susceptible to inflammation and pain. When you remove inflammation, which CBD does amazingly well, you typically allow the body to start to reset. And when you remove inflammation, pain typically diminishes. But CBD does a lot more than that. It influences a whole host of biological processes in the body and brain, like increasing glutathione, which increases the way the body pulls toxins from the cells and the membranes, as well as from the brain, which is why we've seen a lot of people with different forms of dementia, whether it's Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, and they come in the store trembling and shaking because that region of the brain is being disrupted. And then they get on CBD, and within 3, 6, 8 weeks, they come back in and they hold their hand out like this. And I'm sorry, but we all start crying because it's pretty incredibly moving when you see someone's life change. The information that we've gathered over the years has come from reputable sources. Anytime I'm researching CBD, I want to research it through at least 3 different sources. That means I want to look at authoritative sources like the International Cannabinoid Research Society. It's an international grouping of PhDs that have been studying this molecule for many years. So I get a lot of my data there. There's over 4,000 peer-reviewed studies on this product. So when a doctor or physician says, we don't know enough about this, that means they don't know enough about it. They haven't done the research. They haven't looked in the right place to get the data. Enormous amounts of studies have been done on this molecule and what it does in the body. In fact, it's made within the immune system. It already exists within our immune system, and our immune system doesn't make mistakes. So when you put something in the body that interrupts the way the immune system functions, you're the culprit. So what we like to teach here in the store is take responsibility for your health, learn to eat healthy, clean, healthy water, lots of vegetables, fruits, a lot of phytonutrients, right? Anything that's plant, that's living, helps the body live. If it's in a package, it's dead. And if you put that in your body, it's not going to provide any living energy. So we talk about this. And my sources of my data come from a lot of people in the industry that are very bright. We've got Dr. Raphael Mechoulam, who is the authoritative source on cannabinoids. He discovered anandamide, which is an endogenous cannabinoid. That is a neurotransmitter in the brain, and he uncovered that in 1992. So when I do research my materials, I want to make sure I have 3 authoritative sources before I will consider it accurate. And then once I gather that, then I will begin to share that knowledge with our customers and online as well. Yeah, my take is definitely do your research and find at least 3 sources that will give you good quality information. And make sure it's not just somebody doing a YouTube video. Everyone nowadays wants to be seen, right? There's this whole megalomania thing going on with videos and social media. You want to get an authoritative source, somebody that's been doing this a long time, somebody that's successful at it, right? A PhD. I learned from the PhDs. I am not a PhD, but a lot of people think I am because I know so much about this, but I've learned from the PhDs. So therefore, they're my source of information. And it's really important to make sure that the information you're getting is accurate. The web right now is filled with misinformation For example, CBD needs THC to work, or you need THC to activate CBD. Nothing could be further from the truth. Otherwise, I wouldn't be growing as fast as I'm growing. My stores cannot keep up with demand because quality product, good quality education, fair price, and when you come in, you're going to get educated. You're going to learn about your body. So very important to make sure that people are researching the materials and vetting the information and learning about what it does and how it works in the body before you start taking it. I heard my friend's taking it, so give me the same thing he has. Your body's very different. It may not react the same way his body's reacting. So you need to talk to somebody about understanding how your body works before you start putting things into it. I do. I've had lots of broken bones, many broken bones, and I've had over 10 concussions. So in my late 40s, I started having what most people would consider rage issues. The NFL players who got involved and started talking about concussion protocols. I've had almost, 13, I can remember at least 10, but there's a few in there that I can't quite remember because I was knocked out. So ultimately, 10 or 12 concussions is some injuries in the neurological field in my brain. And so in my late 40s, I started having rage issues. And since I've been on CBD, I haven't had any issues whatsoever. So I know for me, for my condition, which is typically known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy, it helps to calm me and helps me to be balanced. So I take approximately 60 to 100 milligrams a day for my condition. Excellent question. This is a really terrific question because a lot of people will come in and say, is this going to heal me or do I have to take it for the rest of my life? People will come in on a cholesterol or a blood thinner medication. Doctor says, I need to take this for the rest of my life. So the way I would describe that is depending on the condition. If you have tennis elbow and you're playing tennis every weekend and you're doing this is what's causing the pain in the elbow. So people come in the store with this exact condition. I want CBD for my elbow because it hurts. And I say, what are you going to do to heal it? And they say, what do you mean? I say, well, are you going to stop playing tennis and let the elbow rest so it can heal? No, I'm going to play tennis every weekend. I just want to block the pain. And I say, well, that's your choice. But with CBD, because of its balancing properties and its increase with glutathione, right, it also increases superoxide dismutase and a whole bunch of biological terms. We won't get too complex, but it actually does heal the body if you remove the condition that's preventing it. So in my opinion, the body is divinely inspired to heal at all times. The reason the body isn't healing is because something's wrong. Either we're eating the wrong food or we're exposed to a toxin or a chemical, or we're doing something like playing tennis and the elbow is swelling constantly because this is not a natural function, right? Just like the golf swing. This is not a normal movement for the back. Most golfers have back issues. They're not stopping golfing, but they want pain relief. If you stop golfing, and you take CBD, and you eat right, that combination will allow the body to regenerate. I was bone on bone in both hips at 40 years old. 2 orthopedic surgeons told me I wouldn't be walking at 50 unless I had my hips replaced. I'm 56 right now. My hips are fine. They regenerated over years and years of eating right, and I obviously stopped doing the things that were causing the pain, the ballistic activities that were breaking down my hip bones from grinding and grinding. I stopped it. It wasn't easy, but I had to stop doing that activity so my body could heal. Now I have no hip pain at all. So yes, CBD can help heal the body, but so can garlic, so can onions, so can flax seeds, so can sprouts. All these things can help heal the body.